One more year with these crapheads and I'll be free. I'm proud to say that my long overdue departure from Colfer is just days away. 345 to be exact, but who's counting? A year from now, I'll be sitting in my dorm room at Northwestern University taking notes for some overpriced textbook about the history of, something historical. I'll be living off top ramen and gallons of Red Bull. I'll be barely getting 5 hours of sleep at night, and that's only when I don't have to yell at my roommate to turn down her porn. I know it doesn't sound like much, but for this college kid, it's paradise. I hope to be in the New York Times, the LA Times, Chicago Tribune, Boston Globe, for the much bigger picture of the editor of the New Yorker. So pause the video if you need a sec. And I can see it now. I'll be finishing up my column in the New York Times, and I'll be living off Thai food and red wine, be getting 10 hours of sleep, and that's only when I have to tell my neighbor to turn down their porn. And I know they don't send out the acceptance letters until December 15th, but, I don't know why they wouldn't accept me. I sent them the letter right at 6 a.m. when the thing opened up, and I have a 4.2 GPA, and I kept the Writers Club alive after its apparent death wish. Not bad for a kid from my town where the real question is, will he eat the green eggs and ham? I don't mean to constantly harp on my hometown. I suppose Colfer has some good qualities. I just can't think of any on the top of my head. And when people ask me, where is Colfer, I'm supposed to say where the Grapes of Wrath ended up, but really go to the corner of nothing and nowhere, make a left, and you'll find it. Hi, I'm Carson Phillips, and I live there. And people ask, what do you want to be in Europe? I said editor of the New Yorker, and they looked at me like I said Dragon Slayer or transvestite golfer. And this is why my issues started at a young age. When they asked me, when one thing takes away another, what do we call it? And I yelled out, homicide. And the teacher looked at me like I did something wrong. And I had a report on the founding fathers, and I said that they were closeted homosexuals and slave owners. And there was a meeting with my parents, and my mom had to admit that she named me after Johnny Carson because she couldn't think of a girl's name. And let me just say, my parents never got along. But my grandma, she was my champion. And I wrote her a story, and one of them was, once upon a time, there was a girl. And she told me it could use some development, but I still loved her anyway for it. And me and my dad, after my parents split up, it was just a no-no. And this day, hey you, smart girl, come to my office. It was Miss Sharpton. I don't like her. She's the worst guidance counselor ever, and she's so pink. And she brought me in for career day, and she asked me what career I wanted, and I told her, editor of the New Yorker, and I gotta get into Northwestern, and I will do literally anything to get into there. And then I had journalism, and it used to be the best thing ever, but now no one will write anything, and it's the Colfer High Chronicle and not the Carson Phillips High Chronicle. It's because no one writes anything. I got this stoner kid, I got VIP Vicky, Vampire in Progress, I got this hot Emilio guy or whatever, and my friend, I guess, Mallory, who records everything. And these are the clubs: the cheerleading club, which has all the cheerleaders that travel in packs, the athletes club, the dumb jocks, the yearbook club where they don't care, the drama club where the boys can dress up as girls, and the girls wonder why the boys never loved them. And there's more, and then the writers club, which is worse than detention. And one day Mallory came to talk to me, and she asked, how do you find ideas? And I said, let the ideas find you, and it'll hit you and express itself in any way possible, and the way is a lot like lightning. Do you ever find yourself in those situations where you ask yourself, God in heaven, how did I get here? And then it could get worse, and you say, please kill me now. Death couldn't be any worse. Yeah, me too. Twice a week for an hour after school, I have to suffer through student council meetings. Ugh, they never have to frickin' put up with anything. It's so annoying. They come from good families, they never dealt with major problems, and they never will. Hi, we got Claire, who is the cheerleader, and I am pretty positively, positively sure that she eats cupcakes. Yeah. Then we have Remy, who I guess is like me a little bit, but she's a hobbit, so I don't like her. Yeah, she's a hobbit. Then we got the third Tweedle, the boyfriend and jock of Claire, Cliché. We got Scarlet, the drama queen. Drama queen. Big drama queen. And then Nikki, the rich one. I honestly, honest to God, hate all of them. They're so annoying, and, they think they're better than everyone else, but they're just the walking, talking cliches of every high school movie. Oh boy. And they talk about homecoming, and they have a theme, but I always draw my notebook and try and kill them because I hate them. And when they asked for sun, I was like, skin cancer, and they said Paris. I'm like, no. And then they asked for fun under the water, and I'm like, no, we're not being original. And they're like, we're not being original. Ugh. You see, this is why I hate them. And I offered the TV, and they liked it, and now please kill me. I love my grandma. She's like my anchor in this awful, awful world. And when I visited her one day, I walked in and I said, hey, Grandma. And she said, it is always heartbreaking to hear, who are you? And I responded, Carson, your granddaughter. And she said, no, she's a little girl. I got bigger, I would tell her. And she would always say, I'll be right back. And she left the room, and when she came back, she had a plate of cookies. It was really, really cute. But she asked me, do you know my granddaughter? I think so, I told her. I miss her, she said. She never comes to visit me anymore. I remember she used to write me stories. And I asked, did she? And she said, I remember the first story she ever wrote me. Once upon a time, there was a girl. I remember too, I said. I told her I could use a little development, so the next day she brought me another one. Once upon a time, there was a girl who wanted to fly. I'm worried about her. I think her parents are splitting up, and she used to be so happy, but she carries all this negative energy, and sometimes a personal rainstorm can be deadly. And then she looked at me and she asked, do you know my granddaughter? I thought so. The next day, I was at school, and I was heading down to the girls' room, and when I walked in, I heard giggling and moaning. So I let out a little cough to let them know I was there, and out came Scarlet and Nikki. And now I had them in my grasp, so now I can make them do whatever they wanted. And I'm very proud of myself for this. They asked if I wanted money, and I told them no. They just had to write for the Clover High Chronicle until graduation. Mwahaha. The next day in my English class, I found a note on my desk saying, hey, smart one, come meet me in my office. Miss Huggies, Miss Sharpton. So I ran out of the room, and I went into her office, and I said, you heard back from them? And she was in the middle of eating a hoagie, and she was like, oh, holy crap. Ugh, I hate her. But she had a CCC cup, and I was unamused. And she said I needed a different way to get into school because literary magazines weren't cutting it, so I could maybe write a novel or a book of poems. And then I said I couldn't do those, and she suggested literary magazine. So I ran out of the room to go ask Mr. Guilford about it. And he was fine with it, and I had to speak at the assembly about it, but I needed money because I had to pay for it. Me. I had to. So that night, I asked my mom about it. But beforehand this happened, she said, you need to be on antidepressants. And I was like, no way. And she asked, aren't you depressed? And I said, currently, with this conversation, yes. Everyone gets depressed. It's an emotion. And then she told me that sometimes pills are the only solution. And I'm like, you're depressing me right now. Are you saying if I took those pills, it would make you disappear? She was offended, but, whatever. She said, you were on drugs in your kid. I'm like, what? No. And she said that she hid my food. I am so done with her. So I just switched it over to my topic, and I said, I need money. And she told me that she gave me less. I'm like, no, I need more. And she was like, no way. So I said, fine. If I take the pills, will you give me money? And she said, deal. I am not having those pills. So today was the ass assembly, and I'm spelling that right, ass assembly, because it brings out the ass in everyone. When it was my turn to speak, I came up and I said, hello, future farmers and inmates. I'm Carson Phillips from the Clover High Chronicle, and I'm here with some very exciting news. This year, the first ever Clover High magazine will be released. So you can write whatever you want and submit it into the submission box. Thank you, and God bless. So 1, know your audience. If you open with a joke, don't offend anyone, and don't speak at the assembly. And what was I thinking? When we found the submission box, Mallory and I, we opened it, and there was, garbage in it. And it was a shittery magazine. I was so upset. I hate these two. But Mallory did tell me some interesting things that I'm definitely going to be using in the future. So, today was homecoming, and we had our float ready, the Writers Club. It's the right club for you. I was a pencil, and she was a notebook. And Claire came up with her pink dress, and she demanded for a truck. It was an ongoing fight that I lost. So I had to pull the thing because I was going to, they're going to see this float if it kills me. So I pulled it, but I was so mad afterwards. I just couldn't handle it. I was so mad that all those thoughts kept coming in my head, but then I realized I have a better idea. I called Mallory and I said, Clovergate begins. So I pulled Mallory out of her next class, and we got to work right away. We had 5 different suspects: Claire, Remy, the coach, Scarlett, and Nikki. And we also added in Vicky and Dwayne. And our number 1 was Remy. So I went by the name Bad Boy 202, and I was talking with her. And the conversation got really weird, and I told her I wanted to be mysterious, and she's like, I like mysteries. So I asked her what she was wearing, and she said nothing. I'm like, send me a pic, and this is in first period, and she sent the picture, and I am barfing, still barfing. And so I gave her the message, and she was so embarrassed. And then, just the Scarlett and Nikki was pretty easy. So now they're done. Still cannot look at Remy the same way. Then we just kind of blackmailed Dwayne the easiest way. How? Just by blackmailing him with marijuana. I played good cop while Mallory played bad cop, but it worked out. And the Vicky, I won't go into detail, but ew. So now they're mine. And then I just talked to the coach and told him about Claire and him. So he's out too. Claire is like the Hillary Clinton of our school, and I can never find her alone. So during cheerleading practice, I passed by saying 2, 4, 6, 8. Heard you like to fornicate. And now she's mine. I also got the hot Amelia whatever guy. Yeah. So the next day, we were waiting for them, and it was going so slow, I thought maybe I had failed. Maybe no one was gonna come. But slowly, one by one, everyone eventually came in. Vicky and Dwayne, and then we got Remy and Scarlett and Nikki, then Claire and Coach. This was going to be fun. Told them about why they were there, and they were arguing against me, but I had so much to live for, I wasn't going to let that stop me. I was so mad, I screamed at them, and I told them to sit down, and I told them just to write about how much they hated me and how much they wanted to gouge my eyes out and, put me into a boiling hot water and kill me. And I started throwing papers at them, and they all left after my speech was done, and I was left alone. But I was proud of myself. I thought I did good. I really did. Because now they're all mine. Mallory still can't write anything, and she was telling me about how she was the one that came up with the Hunger Games, but, Mallory's just crazy, and she just needs to slowly find her own ideas. I'm kind of like people's therapists now, like Claire, which is awkward, but when I was talking with Mallory, I got a phone call from my dad. My dad. He wanted to have dinner with me, so I went to go talk to him. And when I was there, I met his wife, who was expecting a baby, and I realized when we were talking during dinner that he was trying to be someone he's not. He was showing me off like something I'm not, and then I was just done. But the literary magazine came out okay. So there was a meeting that we had to go to for student council, and I wasn't on my best behavior like I promised I would be, because I was fighting against what they really wanted, because I'm a fighter, not a giver-upper. And now they hate me, and the entire school hates me. But you know what? I couldn't care less, because I still have my grandma and my Northwestern University acceptance letter coming. But still no letter. I don't know why. So I went to talk to Miss Sharpton, and she said that I got in, but I didn't send in my acceptance, and I don't know what happened. But I went to go visit my grandma because she fell, and when she woke up, she told me that she reminded me of my granddaughter because I was sad looking. So after I talked to my mom, and she said she threw my letter away. I was so mad that I ran away, and I started beating up the Clover sign. The next day, I was packing boxes with Mallory, and we decided that we would do some stuff together in college. And before she left, she asked me, "Karsten, are we friends?" And I told her, "I think we are best friends." I remember the sky was the limit, so I wrote one more story for Grandma, and I said, "Once upon a time, there was a girl who flew." Yes, it does suck that I have to spend another year in this god-awful town, but you know what? Maybe it won't be so bad. I know the entire town hates me, but I do have one friend. I'm thankful for that one friend. But I do have to go, and I'm not sure where my umbrella is, and it does kind of look thunderstormy outside. Oh well, I'll find my umbrella eventually.